Everybody knows our next guest, advice columnist syndicated in over 1,200 papers. She has a new book called Dear Abby on Planning Your Wedding. It's about planning your wedding. Ladies and gentlemen, Dear Abby. Wow.
There you go. You need a larger couch here.
No. You need more sequins. That's lovely. That's very nice. You look great.
Made it myself.
Did you? No, you didn't do that. I almost bought it, though, for just a second.
Okay.
Now, June is still the wedding month, isn't it, for most people? Although, is this when they would start planning, you think?
June is the month where there are more weddings.
Yeah. Well,
But they plan around, or after Christmas, the engagements, the promises come through. But they plan in December and January for a June wedding.
Yeah. Now, there was a time, it seems to me, in the 60s and 70s when those big formal weddings kind of went out of style and you were married on a beach by like a defrocked vegetarian or something, and now you're back to the big wedding.
Back to the tradition.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, women now, and some men too, like the old-fashioned formal church wedding. But strangely enough, about 40% of the people married have been divorced.
Before, and are we married?
Yes, or they're marrying someone who have divorced. Or their parents have been divorced, which presents a lot of problems. You know, who sits with who stands where, can she wear white, can she have a church wedding?
Well, let's talk about the white. What's
the
story? When can you wear white and when can't you? And we want details on this,
You can wear white anytime you want to.
Oh, really? Doesn't
Yes.
Yeah.
Some prefer off-white or ivory.
Well, I do.
But for the most part, white does not necessarily mean, you know.
Yeah,
but
we got the
because if it did, you know.
Wait a minute, you write all this stuff every day. You can say that word.
Yeah, that's okay. Virginal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to say that. No, let me ask you the most important thing about weddings. How do you feel about prenuptial agreements?
I think prenuptial agreements are sensible and they are essential, particularly when someone is being married for a second time. If he has a lot of assets or she has a lot of assets, they want to protect, their children. They want the children to go to have the money that they have had before they were married. Or should there be a death, a divorce, whatever.
Think you could have gotten away with a prenuptial, gear?
No, not me. I don't think
anyone? Well, that's not important.
But many women are insulted if the romance is in full bloom and he says, honey, I want you to sign this. Yeah. And she says, what do you mean sign this? Well,
seems a little cold.
If you trust me, yes, it is cold. If you trust me, if you love me, why, you wouldn't ask me to sign something.
What's the answer to that? Well, I don't need an answer, but just theoretically, if I ever do.
You say, if you love me, you'd sign it with no questions asked. You see? She says, if I don't sign it, you'll think I'm a gold digger. Yeah. He says, if you do sign it, then I know you're not a gold digger.
Life's a puzzle, isn't it?
It's a difficult.
It really is. But the woman says, look, when you make me sign this, it looks as if you don't think this marriage is going to last. Now, how do you argue that? Again, I don't need this argument, but just it's a theoretical question.
Well, no, that isn't necessarily true, because many people are being married who have been married before, and they do want whatever they have to go to their children. Should they die or become divorced, everything that she has, if she has the assets, will go to his children. And that just doesn't seem quite fair.
You're probably right. Do people write and ask for permission to do things? Like you're an authority figure, they say, dear Abby, I'd like to go out and, rob a bank or whatever, and can I do that?
Yes, they want permission to be married on horseback, underwater, in a hot air balloon. Many people want permission to be married in the church after they've been divorced. And I must say, there was a time when I thought, well, perhaps they're not entitled to that. But after thinking it over, why not? Whom are they hurting? If they want to be married in the church,
By the way, I don't want to push you into this, and just if you just feel like any time you say, Pat, could I suck on a balloon, we'll let you do it. Just you don't have to do that.
That was part of my prenuptial.
Anytime.
Okay.
Well, if the spirit should move you, you just do it on your own. Where do you draw the line in what you'll print, seriously, about from people who... Because people have unusual problems, and some of them, I imagine, are unprintable.
Well, yes, I do have a chapter in a book that I wrote called Not Fit to Print. That's with the best of Dear Abby, also published by Andrews and McMill, who published this one.
Yes, they did.
Isn't that a good-looking cover there?
It is a good-looking book. I think we saw it earlier, but maybe we should see it again.
This isn't just a book about how to plan a wedding.
No.
It has pages in the back, countdowns, things to remember, things to do. For instance, the best man is supposed to pick up the groom's suit at the cleaners and bring it to the wedding site.
Of course.
He brings it, the groom goes to put it on, no pants.
So what do you do?
Well, he had to get married in what he had, you see. Or, there's a couple...
It's kind of like the Home Shopping Network, isn't it? We're just going to get this...
Enough of that. But there was a couple in Bozeman, Montana,
yes,
who had a rather charming wedding. They had the ring bearer, their dog was a ring bearer. His name was Mickey. And I couldn't believe this. I called her on the telephone. I said, "Do you mean to tell me, Jenny, that your dog was a ring bearer? How'd that happen?" She said, "Well, he really was our best friend, and we were married at a church, and we had the ring in a little basket with ribbons on it, and we had the dog come down and bring the basket." I said, "Well, how did it work?" She said, "It didn't work at all. The dog got excited. He ran down the aisle when he saw us and left the basket behind."
Oh, boy. There could have been a worse ending to that, you know. I figured you were going in a different...
Well, how about the flower girl who said, "Mommy, I can't hold it." She said, "You'll have to." Well, the kid couldn't. And she piddled right on the altar.
Let's not get on piddling stories. We'll be here all night. We'll take a break. Anne Murray will be back to sing in just a moment. Stay with us.
Pretty cool. That's pretty nice.